So guys, today my sharing is a little bit different. I will be looking through a recent newspaper report that might interest many of you, especially if you are a first-time home buyer. My name is Pete from Singapore Property Pro, helping you take your next step with your property journey. So very quickly here, when we look at the newspaper report recently, there is an announcement. There's a BTO launch in February, and interestingly, there are 5,000 units up for grabs of BTO, including the prime flats in Tanjong Rhu area. So if you take a look at the artistic rendering and impression of Tanjong Rhu, it's a project is called Parkfront. It looks really pretty, right? If you really go into the HDB portal and dig out what it's like. Okay, so HDB will tell you that it's launching about 10,000 units in February BTO. By the way, the BTO exercises used to be 4 times a year, and now they reduce it to 3 times a year. Now, so part of the process is, of course, is to streamline the available number of choices so that every time you have like more units to select for your BTO if you are the ones that's choosing it. So in terms of the wait time, right, HDB has promised that 8 out of 10 units are actually 4 years or less. And if you are choosing some of the units like in the Chencharu, which is somewhere in the Yishun area, the wait times are just slightly over 3 years, which is good news, especially for those who are really waiting to settle down and start a family and waiting for the flat, right? So back in 2024, that was where it was started, the 3 BTO exercises, right? Usually it's about 4. And if we take a look at this time's round, it's actually quite a bumper release. It's about 10,000 units. So if you look at this, it's about 10,622 flats that's going to be available in this February's round of BTO. Now, you might be thinking of how are you going to participate. Very simple, you just simply log into your HDB portal and you'll be able to see that there is this exercise, February BTO exercise. And it's very simple, just click and choose. What I like about this round is not only there are BTO, but there are 5,500, more than 5,500 balanced flats. So every exercise, there is 2 types of flats that you can choose from, which is built to order, haven't built, you have to wait 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and of course those that are ready. And what I see here, because recently I've been serving quite a number of homeowners who is really right sizing, and this sale of balance flats, some of them are in really good mature estate. So if you take a look at the sale of balance flats, which estates they are available in like Ang Mo Kio, very good estates like Bedok, right? Very good estates like Bishan, Bukit Merah, all these all are available. And of course, looking at the prices, some of the prices are really attractive. Even like the ones, from Bishan, the 2-room flexi are starting from $93,000. Of course, the lease will be short lease between 15 and 45 years for those 2-room flexi. So if you were to log in and you actually want to search for the flats, you can actually go in and see, like for example, the 2-room flexi in Pasir Ris, they are actually available. 5 of them available actually, right in the heart of Pasir Ris, in the heart of the Pasir Ris neighborhood. So this could be something that if you are in the market to really be looking for right sizing opportunities, I would say this is something that you should look out for. Now, besides that, they also highlighted what are the possibilities of the prices that you'll be expecting. So in the February exercise, we actually are looking at, they are giving you 4 areas, which is Woodlands, Yishun for the standard projects, plus flats is in Queenstown, Stirling, and the prime flats will be in the Tanjong Rhu area. So just a recap of what is standard, plus and prime. So during one of the National Day rally, we have already adopted this new system. And just to quickly look at what are the differences between them. For standard, usually will be more of the city fringe area. And for them, they will have the standard restriction, which is just the 5-year MOP period, right? And if you're looking at plus, things like even like closer to town, city fringe, like Stirling Road, the Queenstown area, you will have a 10-year MOP period. And there will be what we call a clawback, a subsidiary clawback. So for this round, the ones that are in Stirling will have a 8% clawback, and the one in Tanjong Rhu will have a 9% clawback, right? And those prime flats like those in Tanjong Rhu are the strictest. I think one of the things that you have to really consider is for during resale, income ceiling will apply. That means if you are selling to a couple, the income ceiling is $14,000. So you might be asking, why is the government doing that? The reason is really very simple. If you look at how the prices of the flats are, so for the Tanjong Rhu area, the surrounding 4 rooms are already doing more than $1 million already right now. So now the transacted resale flats nearby are already doing $1 million for the 4 room. So if you were to be buying something at $500,000 now, chances are in 10 years time, how much are you going to be reselling it? $1 million? $2 million? Right. So this is really to put a cap on how much loan your potential buyer can take. So when you cap it at 14K of household income, your potential buyer will be restricted by the loan amount. So you can always try to sell it at $2 million, but that means that the buyer will need to come up with a lot of cash or even CPF. So that's something for you to consider. And also another thing for you to really consider is at the end of the 5 years, 10 years wait, okay, for prime and plus, not only do you have to wait 10 years, if you look at the build, some of them you have to wait 4 years or even 5 years for a plus or a prime flat to be ready. So 5 years of building, and the MOP period really actually counts when you receive the key to your flat. So you will, in actual fact, have to wait 5 years of building plus 10 years of MOP, altogether 15 years. Now, this is something that a lot of buyers do not put in consideration when they are trying to buy a flat. Typical range or age that people are buying a flat right now, probably around 35. And honestly, what is the time that you can recover you can actually withdraw a CPF? 55. So in our cases of handling so many hundreds of transactions every year, we've seen that when you reach 55, chances of you to really to consider to buy another property will be very low. So in honesty, your property window to buy, sell property in Singapore is really about 20 years. So imagine if you are actually applying for a prime flat, which takes away a big chunk of that 20 years, which is 15 years, 5 years for it to build, 10 years for MOP. And that is something that, you really need to consider if that is something that is suitable for you, right? So to really continue from there, you will see that there will be different in prices from the different areas or different classification of flats that's been launched. For the standard, you will see them selling, all the 4-room flats were selling between $300,000 to $450,000. If you look at the plus, it's about $550K, and you look at really the prime flats, right, it will be from $400,000 and $550K as well. So why is there such a difference? Is I think primarily the government wants to make sure that the flats that you buy is not really for you to make money. Hence, there's a lot of measures, there's a lot of conditions when you resell, and there is a long MOP period, number one. Number two is if you really dive in and look at the HDB mission statement, right? HDB mission statement is to provide affordable and quality housing. Its mission statement is not to provide a flat for you to make a lot of money when you resell it in the resale market. So you have to bear that in mind when you consider that, right? So when we look at the flat, I would also like to look at the basically what is the potential of around the area, because if you want to buy a flat around the area, chances are you want to live around the area, and what are the potential of an exit if you look around the area. So the new plus flat is actually, prime flat is actually in this plot. If you look at the URA actually will tell you actually where the flat location is. So this is the plot that is currently being launched, and these are the two other plots that was launched last year in Tanjong Rhu, which is being built now. So if you go to street directory, you can actually even see the block numbers being come up. Alright, so there are the Tanjong Rhu Riverfront 1 and 2, they are being constructed right now, and this is the plot where the new BTO is being launched. So why do we want to look at the master plan? Is because it allows us to look at what is the potential here. So if you look here, these are all the BTOs, but if you look across the other road, when you cross the road to the other Tanjong Rhu stretch, these are all the condos. So at the current moment, these are all the condos. And it's very, very interesting to take note that there is a couple of open space here. And if you look at the master plan, what does it say? The open space is slotted to become residential. Yes, at the moment there is nothing, but you can see that it's being drawn out already. So the way that we look at the master plan, okay, as a professional, first of all, okay, how the color changes. The color will change from yellow. So what is yellow? Yellow means it's a reserve site, which is yet to be determined what they want to do. Okay, it can be turned into residential and turned into commercial even. So the blue is actually commercial if you look at this. Right, so that's step one. Step two is when yellow turns to all peach, this color. Okay, so when it turns to all peach without line, that means there is a very high potential that you will be getting either condos or even HDB there. Right, so all this already have lines drawn already. You can see that there is 4 plots. Right, so not announced yet, but chances are that these 4 plots will potentially may become definitely residential. Will it be condo? Will it be HDB? It's up to you to decide. So why are they refreshing the area down here? It's really because of the announcement during last year's National Day rally. And what was the big announcement? We announced that there is this thing called Kallang Alive. So during the National Day rally, we actually announced a Kallang Alive. And this is really to rejuvenate this entire area. So when they announced this, I straight away, of course, look at the master plan. Right? So this is where they want to rejuvenate. And by the way, the sports school is going to be moved to this area. Alright? And what is interesting here is at the moment, these are all empty land. They are all park grounds. So if you look at all this, at the moment, these are all parks. But this is something that is very exciting. And I think maybe not many people realize that it is in this color, this purple. So when I click, what is this color? This color is purple, it means hotel land. So what I mean is, are they going to be pushing in a lot of tourism in this area? Hence, there's a need for hotel? I don't know. But the plan is already there. And not just one plot. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plots of hotel. Right, so this is going to be really interesting, and this plot ratio is going to be 3.5. That means potentially it's going to be quite a high rise, quite an iconic one. Right, so imagine looking across the bay, you'll be able to see something iconic here. So these are all my opinion that I have figured out that maybe this is something that is potential over here. Okay, another thing that is really potential here is you see that there's still a lot of yellow land not yet decided. Okay, all this yellow land will potentially either become residential or maybe even blue. And remember, there was also a reclassification of this stretch. This stretch used to be the Kallang red light district. And right now, if you look carefully, it has all been classified into non-residential. So if you really zoom in and look at it, it's going to be commercial and institution. So the government is really trying to rejuvenate this area by having people to live, work, and play. So where are the living areas? Simpler. So we have a couple of HDB BTO over here, one more that's coming over here, a lot of condos over here, we have schools, we have a sports hub over here, we have hotels that's potentially going to come out over here. Okay? And this is another interesting thing, which probably I'm going to go into the next round. But just quickly, if you look across, there's going to be a white site. A white site means you can do a lot of things. Can be residential, office, shop, hotel. Can do a lot of things. So this, in our jargon, the white site is really one of the most valuable sites that you can have when you are a developer. Right, so it's very, very exciting. And if you really zoom out, right, look at this. This used to be a golf course, and right now this whole stretch is going to be yellow out. Okay, why this is very exciting is because they also announced that in the 2025 new master plan that is going to be come out, we are going to have this thing. I think they mentioned it many times. The Long Island project. It's going to be our coastal defense, right? So can you imagine all this big piece of land? Can you imagine this all becoming just only national park and parkland? I think very highly unlikely, right? Okay, when you look at this, we already have residential coming in already. So what do you think is going to happen to this next? So if you pull out, it's going to be a huge development across the entire East Coast. So this is something that you're going to watch out for. They're going to springboard starting from here, and they're going to springboard all the way here. Okay, and in tandem, you can actually see that during the master plan launch, they also identify some corridors. We know that there's the Greater Southern Waterfront. We also know that there is the Thompson, Kallang, Precinct, and this is very interesting, which is the historic precinct that they're going to develop. So all in all, we need to know that there's one thing that you need to know is every time when you do your research, when you do your news, every time when they actually announce something, the news is important to figure out what's going to happen next. So what I see is there's going to be a lot of exciting things that's going to happen. And if I can just quickly share, they are really going to move some development over here at the Marina area, starting from here. Alright, starting from this year, there's going to be one very interesting new launch that's going to be coming up in the Marina area. And from there on, you can more or less guess that it's going to be one of the launching point where the government is going to increase more development into this area. So who says that, Singapore got no land? If you really pull out, we have a lot of land to develop. We still got this, all these white plots, all of this. Okay? All of this are all being developed in the plan, in the master plan. And I haven't even talked about this Long Island project that the government is going to develop. This is going to be long run, maybe 20, 30 years into the future. But I'll be the first one to share more with you when the master plan really launch. So I'll be sharing more and more news breakdown just like this in the near future. And if you like this kind of content, right, just simply comment down below in the comment section that this is what you want to see, and I will know that and create similar content in the future for you. And remember to like and share this video with a friend who think that you can benefit from this information. This is Pete, and I will see you in the next sharing of the property in Singapore.